What's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. And as always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time I drop a video, you will be the first one to know about it. All right, y'all. Y'all President Joe Biden has actually done something that he said that he quote unquote promised he said he was going to do. No, he didn't talk to Ice Cube about the plan for Black America. Nah, that still hadn't happened. But hey, it is what it is, huh? I mean, who really thought he was going to do it? I don't know. But anyway, what he did, if y'all been living under a rock for the last few days, he has canceled up to $10,000 in student debt for people with who borrowed for undergraduate degrees. Now, a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are happy. I mean, just depends on, I guess, where you are, what side you on. You got probably different views than your neighbor. Now, me, myself, I think it's cool, I mean, I'm not I wasn't really pushing for it. I mean, if he's going to take some of that money off of student loan debt for a brother, then I'm cool with it, Go ahead. I mean, that's fine. I mean, truth be told, I wasn't really tripping on him canceling the student loan debt because, I mean, hey, I did sign for it. I mean, shoot. So, I got to pay my debts. If I can pay it, I can. If I can't, I can't. If I got to pay it for the rest of my life, I mean, it is what it is. But, shoot, the only thing I really was hoping for is that he could just cut some of that interest out. Because, I mean, my daughter sent me a post that somebody sent her showing that somebody had of $100 and something thousand in debt, student loan debt. And they've been paying this thing for years, on time, every time. And when you look at it, they still owe. As a matter of fact, they owe more than what they originally, took out. And it's due to this high ass interest rate, man. So it's I mean, if you could have cut the interest rate off, I think it's 10%. If he could have cut their son gun down to maybe 3%, 2%, something like that. I mean, $100,000, that's a lot of money. That's like a house. And think about it. And who take out loans like that? Mainly people who are doctors, lawyers, people with them, them degrees where they gotta be in school for 8 years, 12 years. I mean, it's hard, man. Because they don't want you to work, especially in the medical field. They don't want you to work while you are in school. So how is you going to pay for it? But to take out loans, or if you can get scholarships or grants or whatever, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hell, with me. I mean, hell, I was in nursing school, and that was the first thing they told us. They didn't want us to have no job, but yet you got to pay for, all this stuff. So it's how you going to pay for this stuff with no job? So you either got to sneak and get a job, and if they find out you got a job, you might get kicked out the program, or you got to take out student loans. So it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. But like I say, shoot, if you could have cut them dang on me, that mean the interest rate out, so I'd have been happy right then and there. But anyway, let's get into this story from the Daily Mail. Well, now, but let me say this first. Y'all do know why Joe Biden did this. It's a little trinket for potential voters because his approval rating is down in the dumps. And he had to do something to get people back on his side. To try to do anything. He tried to get them immigrants over here so they can vote for the Democratic Party. Because remember he told us Aboriginal Americans that, we better start working with the Hispanics. When he first got in or right before he got in or whatever. And we was like, well, I got to work with them. And, the ones, and they're not even citizens, but then Kind of find out that what he was doing, he's trying to get Hispanics and anybody else who come over here and work, especially going to New York or what have you, to be able to vote. You see what I'm saying? So then this here, like I say, his approval rate was way down. He can see that right now that Donald Trump still got people that are backing him. Hell, Donald Trump got people that are willing to kill and are willing to die to put him back in that presidency. Biden's, it's like an uphill battle for that man. And then you got people on your own team who's like ready for the next election, the next presidential election to come around. They can go ahead and take your place, including your vice president. So he had to do something to get people back on his team and, get these, the working class, middle class people to wipe out their debt or take some money off their debt. He was going to, it'll probably help his people in the midterms. So matter of fact, I heard people say that if he would have wiped out the whole debt, they would have voted Democrat all the way down, all the way around in the midterms and in the presidential election. But that would have been too much. That would have hurt. That would have hurt the economy just too much. You know what I'm saying? So really wasn't expecting that there. But hey, we'll see how it works out in the midterm. But anyway, there's a story here in the Daily Mail, came out yesterday, and it talks about a video that resurfaced from 2020 when this guy was pretty pissed off and let Elizabeth Warren know that he was upset about her because she was talking about if she was elected, she would wipe out like $50,000 in student loans. My thing is something like that. Again, you got to do that first. You wipe out $50,000 in debt. Shoot, yeah. Then you just might get my vote for real. But anyway, can't say what I do once I get elected. Nah, that's not gonna work. But anyway, let's get into the story. Like I say, it's from the Daily Mail, and it says, "For fury as Biden cancels $10,000 in student debt. Resurfaced video shows dad asked Elizabeth Warren, 'Am I going to get my money back?' after he paid for his daughter's education while his friends spent lavishly and dug themselves in the debt." Now, we're going to hit a lot of layers on this story, so let's just go ahead and get into it. It talks about a video that resurfaced showing a frustrated debt father raging at Elizabeth Warren over politicians' loan forgiveness aspiration during an event in 2020 after he paid his daughter's way through school but was told he would not be entitled to a refund. The heated confrontation transpired in Iowa during Warren's ill-fated run for president, which saw her vow to cancel student loan debts up to $50,000 for roughly 42 million borrowers if elected. Now, that's what she messed up at. Well, like I said, she's not in office, so there's really nothing she could do. But if she could have voted to help get it wiped out before the election happened, man, she would have been president, for real. This saying the clip, the furious dad rips into Warren over the prospective policy, citing how he worked 2 jobs to pay for his daughter's education, while those who did not take such measures would serve to benefit from the progressives' prospective policy. Now, however, despite the Massachusetts Senator failure to garner a presidential nomination, that father fears have become a reality, with Joe Biden announcing Wednesday he will forgive debt of up to $10,000, making good on the promise made during his own campaign. Okay, so you're talking the difference between $10,000 and $50,000. I mean, again, with the interest rate, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. Now, like I say, showing the video of his dad getting mad. I wonder, have they found him, after Joe Biden did this did the $10,000 refund, and see how he feel about that. They say the unidentified man in the clip, much like other conservatives wary of loan forgiveness policies, argues that plans to cancel student loan debt would offer an unfair financial disadvantage to those who paid their own college tuition or those who had already paid off their debt. Now, look at it like this. For those of us to see this guy being upset like this, and I felt this, I remember the video when it came out. Guys like this, They are the guys who, believe in the American dream. You work hard and you get a paycheck, take care of your family, and that's the American dream. But, they sold him a bill of goods. He's a guy that knows, that feels like, he's done everything right. But now he's being punished for doing everything right. But the reality is you live in a world that's unfair, especially when you're in a capitalistic society or a society that, that has inflation and based on inflation. But pay does not equal the inflation, but it does go up for certain people. Well, let me say it like this. Those of us who watch sports, prime example. We see players like LeBron James getting a basketball extension for 2 years and what was it? $90-something million not too long ago. We look at that like, damn, this dude, that's a lot of money. Some people look at it and, probably get mad and upset. Say, how did dude make all this money? And teachers only make so much. Well, you got to think about how much money does he bring in? You see what I'm saying? How much money can he garner that he done brought in the last couple of years? I mean, just by them winning the championship that first year, I mean, come on. Ain't no telling he probably brought in $100 million just in regular season alone. Easy. Not including before they won the championship. Not including, after they won the championship and all the money they made after that. So they just paying him. You know what I'm saying? They're just paying him what he, pay what he weigh. But we look at players like Bill Russell, who won 11 championships as a player, 5 as a player coach or whatever. Michael Jordan never made nothing close on the court that he did off the court. And these guys won more championships, popularized the game. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, who actually brought the NBA up to prominence, that allowed Michael Jordan to come in and do what he did, allowed Kobe Bryant and LeBron James to do what they did, and do what he does. I mean, them guys didn't get retro pay. Michael Jordan, he getting paid off of his shoes, but I'm talking about the league in general. Specifically, not going back and paying Michael Jordan, what LeBron is making because of what Michael Jordan did. No, you pay, what the economy says you should be paid at the time. It's just the way it is, just like any job. I can go to a job now and make a certain amount of money. When these new folks come in, they might make the same amount of money as I do with no experience. I could be like the bitter old nurses used to be and be like, man, how did youngsters come in making close to or equal or maybe even more to what I'm making? I've been doing this job for 20 years, they used to, you had nurses, you should hear nurses say that all the time. But it's just how the market is. It's just how the market is. It's not like they can't pay them what you was making 20 years ago to get started. It just ain't fair. You know what I'm saying? Like say society and the economy won't dictate that. But that's something that this guy has to understand is that, some of us had to work 2-3 jobs. Remember, old man told me he had to sell barbecue sandwiches, to pay his way through school when he was at a university. This is an old man. This was 6-7 years ago. He told me this. So he talking about in the 70s. I think he said that. In the 70s, he said he sold barbecue sandwiches out of his dorm room to pay for his schooling. But now, shoot, you couldn't do that now. You couldn't make enough. You couldn't sell enough barbecue sandwiches to save your life, let alone to pay for college tuition. College is just too expensive right now. So like I said, a lot of people have to take out loans. Some people, got to work 2-3 jobs. Everything is not equal. Everybody can't be the same, can't do the same. Everybody's circumstances are not the same. So for this guy, from my standpoint, for this guy to be upset that some people's student loans will be wiped out or reduced, I understand where he's coming. I understand him being upset. I can empathize. But man, it is just what it is. In life, you just got to live life, do what you can to stay on top. Hey, you pay for your daughter to go through school. Hey, man, you did what you were supposed to do. period. You know what I'm saying? As long as you shouldn't be mad at Elizabeth Warren. You need to be looking at your child and see if she went to school, if she graduated, went on to become something because you did what you did. That money's gone. You know what I'm saying? That money's gone. But anyway, inversely, detractors argue such plans would also unjustly benefit those who took out astronomical loans so they can spend lavishly during their college years when they should remain in desperate debt. It's kind of like people get mad at these football players because, you know, they saying these players, they should be getting paid because they bring in all the school's money, revenue into the school. And they say, well, these guys, they get a free education. But you know damn well most of them don't graduate. And even if they do graduate, I mean, it's not going to equal up to the money they brought to the university. You got coaches now getting paid like $10 million a year to coach football, to coach a 10-game sport. The coach just for 10 weeks. I mean, they coach longer than that, but like they play like 10 games minimum and maybe 12 or 13 games at the maximum. They go to a bowl and they get paid $10 million. And again, the kids get nothing. If they get hurt, they lose a scholarship most of the time. I mean, it just depends on how cool the coach is and the school is, but they get nothing out the deal. And like I said, even if they do graduate, I mean, ain't like most of them don't get engineering or doctor degrees, you know what I'm saying, in the years that they in undergraduate school. So, I mean, like I say, life is just unfair for everybody, man. But these same football players, if they go Booster, give them some money, buy them a sandwich, let them in the club for free, buy them some clothes or a coat, let them borrow a car, they'll get suspended. You know what I'm saying? The school will get suspended and sanctioned and stuff. And you got, let's say, kids can barely eat. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, dude, he gonna have to get up off of that. Let's see, the fed up father offers these sentiments to Warren in a contentious clip, which was widely shared back when the incident occurred. It is now making a second run at going viral as Biden revealed his long anticipated decision on the issue after loan payments had been paused since the early days of the pandemic. Oh man, let me see. And then next, I just want to ask one question. The man says in the clip, approaching Warren, my daughter's getting out of school. I've saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. He then further asked the Democrat, am I going to get my money back? Warren, who was filmed listening to the unidentified man's qualms, patiently as the crowd had flocked around them, responded, sounding almost astounded by the man's question. Of course not. The father proceeded to fly in a rage and starts to tear into the politicians. So you're going to pay for people who didn't save their money, and those of us who did the right thing get screwed, he exclaimed, his voice raising and growing intense. Well, as the scriptures say, what did it say? The rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. Period. He went on. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacation. I saved my money. He made more than I did. I worked a double shift working to get extra money, and that's fine. And like I said, you did the right thing. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. Take care of your daughter. At this point, Warren said something inaudible to the man, who in turn accused him of laughing and making light of the situation. You're laughing at me, he tells the then president candidate. Warren in turn retorted, no, I'm not. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. The dad quips back. He sounded like an emotional broad. We did the right thing and we got screwed. The senator then shakes the man's hand before he angrily storms off. Yeah, I appreciate your time, Warren can be heard telling the furious father as she continued to meet with others at the rally. So let's get into this Biden plan right quick, and let's see what this dude or anybody else who's all like upset. So Biden's administration student loan debt plan. It said you take forgive $20,000 if you went to college on Pell Grants. Oh, Pell Grants. Wait a minute, I think I got a couple of those. $10,000 if you didn't receive Pell Grants. Forgiveness only applies to those earning less than $125,000. I might need to look at my paychecks. Student loan pause extended one final time through December 31st, 2022. So right after Christmas, you got to pay off all y'all Christmas debt, and then you got to start back paying student loans. I'll be damned. And it said payment based on income. If you have undergraduate loans, you can cap repayment at 5% of your monthly income. That's cool. That's how it should be. But again, shit, you be paying it for the rest of your life. Now it's in the policy will see up to 42 million people granted some sort of loan forgiveness. With the White House also known that another 20 million borrowers earning less than $75,000 will potentially see their debt completely wiped out. I mean, you gotta look at the economy. I mean, stuff is expensive as hell. $75,000. I mean, it's okay. It make you middle class nowadays. Back in the day, it should make you, part of the upper middle class. Now it's hard to survive on $7,000. You got a whole doggone family. So, I mean, it is what it is. What to say? It say, let's see. It talks about a spokesman said, as a reminder, no one with a federally held loan has had to pay a single dime in student loans since President Biden took office, which is true. I mean, you could have been paying on that loan while, the interest rate on some of the loans were not building. And some of the loans interest rate was going up. And this administration has already canceled about $32 billion in debt for more than 1.6 million Americans, more than any administration in history. Here's the thing about that. They read out these numbers and make it seem like it's a lot into us common folk, to us poor folk. That is a lot. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, let's just look at it. The United States has student loan debts that equal up to 1.7 trillion with a T dollars. Now, people are saying that this loan forgiveness plan of Biden's is going to cost the American taxpayers $250 billion. Okay. All right. Now, again, for us poor folk like myself, that's a lot of money. But in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing compared to 1.7 trillion. So let's say like this. It says that Biden, like I say, has forgiven $32 billion worth of student loans, right? Over like how many would say, like how many millions of people you say? 1.6 million Americans? $32 billion of $1.7 trillion. Now, listen to me and say it with me. Is 0.18%. $32 billion is only 0.18% of the entire student loan debt. It's not even half. No. It's not even 1/10. No, it's barely. Not barely. Okay. It's not even 0.5%. It's not even 0.2% of the actual total student loan debt. So, yeah, your buddy might have went, played, and partied and got some of his money and got some of his debt wiped out. Okay. You probably had to work so many jobs to pay for your kids to go through school. Okay. In the long run, dude, you're going to come out better. You're going to come out better. In the short run, because see, the people that does this stuff, they know people. They study you. They study everybody like a hawk. They know your spending tendencies, your saving tendencies. They know how you spend your money and how you save your money. So they know if somebody took out student loan debts and living lavishly and don't know how to save and control their money, they're going to continue to do it. So, hey, if I can wipe out not even 2/10 of the debt and make some people happy and get some votes, in the end, it's only going to help the politicians in the long run. It's going to help you in the long run. I mean, it might cost taxpayers $250 billion, but what are we talking about? Pennies out of your pocket? You see what I'm saying? Because we're going to keep it individual. Yeah, out of your pocket that you worked hard for, and like I say, worked 2 jobs and overtime to pay for your daughter through school. This is only going to cost you pennies. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to cost everybody pennies. You know what I'm saying? To get this money back, I guess, this imaginary money. But that's a whole different story. So I wouldn't even trip on that. I wouldn't even trip on it because, like I said, in the long run, you'll have no debt. They ain't got to come back and find you. They ain't got to come back and get you for no reason. It's kind of like the whole when he was giving out these checks last year to people that had kids, but then say, hey, you do know that you're going to have to pay this back. And so when the year came around, it was time for tax season, he hit everybody up. If you didn't take the checks, you ain't got to worry about it. So it is what it is. But hey, I've spoken long enough on this. This is a pretty long article. I'll probably put it in the description box below. But tell me what you think about this tax. I mean, this little credit, this debt being not wiped out. But you know, some people it will be wiped out. But $10,000 ain't a whole lot. I guarantee you, whoever took out $10,000 loan, $10,000 worth of debt or less, and graduated with that, they either worked, got scholarships, or they didn't get a big degree. Probably didn't graduate. You know, because $10,000 again ain't a whole lot of money ain't a whole lot of money. I tell you, I took out loans and I got a 2-year degree. But I mean, went to school for a while though, you know. But it's a whole different story, whole story in itself. And my loans were way more than 10,000. Wasn't 100,000. Wasn't close to 100,000. Was way more than 10,000. Anyway, again, tell me what you think. Leave your comments below and share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.